Good morning, students. This is K. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor in the Department of Tribly, Chevrolet Engineering College, Lecturer 42, Unit 4, Self and Mutual Inductance. Topic, Mutual Inductance between a straight, long wire and a square loop. In the last classes, we discussed about what is meant by self-inductance and what is meant by mutual inductance and the self-inductance of a solenoid, self-inductance of a triode. So these are discussed in the classes, in the previous classes. Now, in this video lecture, I would like to discuss about the mutual inductance between a straight long wire and a square loop, and also energy stored in a magnetic field and energy density. These topics are we discuss. Okay. Now, first of all, we discuss about the mutual inductance between a straight long wire and a square loop. First of all, you have to observe this figure. So this is the figure represents this is a straight long wire and this is a square loop. Now, current I is passed through this long straight wire. This is a square loop. Now it is at a distance x from the wire. Let us consider a small area, that is a dy, small length, that is a dy. Now this length dy is at a distance y from the current carrying wire. And here the loop width is a and height is, let them y. So here the limits of the square loop is from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to a. Why? Because simply the variable factor along the width of the square loop is x. So the width of the square loop we can express as x is equal to 0 to x is equal to a. That is the width of the square loop. Now these geometrical terms we have to remember that for to solve the or to express the mutual inductance between a straight long wire and a square loop. So here, this is the, once again I repeat, this is the a straight wire carrying current I. It is a square loop having width A. Now let us consider a small area, small length, that is a dy, which is at a distance y from the current carrying wire, and a square loop is at a distance x from the wire. Now the limits of the square loop along the width is expressed as x is equal to 0 to x is equal to a. That means the distance of the wire and to the square loop, first end is x and the next end is x plus a. Now, according to magnetic flux associated with an element dy, that means when you observe this figure, whenever a current is passed through this wire, automatically on the surroundings of the wire, a magnetic field is developed. So here a magnetic flux lines at the point dy, that means dy is exactly on the plane, a small distance dy. So the number of flux lines passing through this area, this dy point, we have to calculate that. Now, according to definition of magnetic flux, d phi is equal to B into dA. Here, phi is a magnetic flux, B is a magnetic flux density, dA is the area. So here, the area of the element dy, we have to calculate that. That is the smallest area. So here, when you observe this figure, this is the smallest area. So this area having width dy and height as a, then automatically the area of the element dy is expressed as length into width. So A into dy. And next we have to calculate the magnetic field. So magnetic field is expressed with the help of Ampere's law. So this is the current carrying wire. Now dy is the area. We have to calculate the phi value. Now this dy area is at a distance y from the wire. Now with the help of Biot-Savart's law, the expression for the magnetic field intensity at a distance y from this current carrying wire is expressed as mu naught I by 2 pi y. Here I is current passing through the wire and mu naught is permeability of free space. Its value is equal to 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. Once again, I repeat. Here we have to take a smallest area, that is dy. Now, whenever a current is passed through the wire, on the surroundings of this wire, a magnetic field is developed. Now, here we calculate the magnetic flux phi for this area dy. Now the expression is phi is equal to B into dA. So first we calculate the dA. dA means the smallest area of element dy, that is length into breadth, A into dy. And the magnetic field, according to Biot-Savart's law, the magnetic field at a distance y is expressed as mu naught I by 2 pi y. Now, by substituting these all values, that is B value mu naught Ia by 2 pi and area, that is A into dy. Now, to calculate the flux for entire square plane is obtained by integrating on both sides. So this is a d phi, okay? Here, this is the expression for d phi value. So for calculating phi value, simply integrating on both sides here, like that, okay? So on integration, integral and differentiations are cancelled. The expression for the phi is equal to mu naught I A by 2 pi or constants. So they simply write the before the integration, mu naught is a constant, 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. Current I is a constant. A is the, that is the width of the square loop. 2 pi is constant. Here the y is a variable. When you observe the figure, we have to take only this value only. But what about this area and this area? So we have to calculate the entire area. That's why here we integrate that. Okay. So on integration, compulsory we have to know the limits value. So when you observe the figure square loop, here this is the x value and this end limit is x plus a. Why? Because this width is a. Okay. So The limits are x to x plus a, x to x plus a. Now, on integration dy by y, that is 1 by y. So integral 1 by value is a log of y. Now limits are x to x plus a, and mu naught I by a by 2 pi, that is a constant. As usual, we have to write the in front of the integration. So just simply by substituting the limit values, then finally we got the phi expression is mu naught I a by 2 pi log of a plus x by x base e. Okay. Now we have to calculate the mutual inductance. That is our main concept. Our agenda is to calculate the mutual inductance between a straight current carrying wire and to the square loop. Therefore, as the relation between magnetic flux and mutual inductance and current is phi is equal to m into I. Now, the expression for the mutual inductance is simply from this relation m is equal to phi by I. That means simply substitute the expression of phi, and when you observe the expression of phi, there is a I value here. So by cancellation of phi on both sides, then the expression for the mutual inductance between a straight wire, that means a current carrying straight wire, and to the square loop is expressed as mu naught a by 2 pi log of, by combining the x, that is a plus x by x. Here the value is 1. Okay. So this is the mutual inductance of a straight wire and to the square loop. Now the next concept is energy stored in a magnetic field. Actually, the same topic we have to discuss in electric field also. Capacitors, you have already know about the what is a capacitor and what is the purpose of capacitor, and what is an inductor and what is the purpose of an inductor, like that. Regarding all these, I simply say that capacitor means which is used to store the energy in the form of electric field, whereas inductor is used to store the energy in the form of magnetic field. That's why we discuss in the first two chapters, that is in electrostatics, the expression for the energy stored in a electric field is half CV square. And we also discuss about the different types of capacitors, parallel plate capacitor, spherical capacitor, and their energy stored in the capacitor, energy density in capacitor. Like the same concept, here we discuss in magnetic field. Now let us discuss briefly about the energy stored in a magnetic field. Generally, magnetic field can be a permanent magnet or an electromagnet. That means permanent magnet means natural magnets. So we can develop a magnetic field by using natural magnets or by using artificial magnets. So artificial magnets means they are made by a process of electromagnetic. Both the magnetic fields are useful to store some energy. So what is the difference between a permanent magnet and electromagnetic means? In permanent magnet, always creates magnetic flux, and there is no change in its flux by any other impact, any external factors. But whereas in electromagnet, we are developed the magnetic field. That means they are artificial magnets. So in these electromagnets, we can easily variable the magnetic field by other external factors. That means by changing the current, then automatically magnetic field will be changes. That will be discussed in mutual inductance and between two coils. In the last class, we discussed about by taking two coils, coil 1 and coil 2. Now a current I1 is passed through the coil. Due to impact, an electromotive force is developed in the coil 2. That means simply a potential difference is developed in the coil 2. That means a magnetic flux is developed in the coil 2. So by changing the current in coil 1, we can easily change the magnetic field in current in coil 2. That means by varying the current, we can easily change the magnetic field in only electromagnetic field, in electromagnetic areas. That means in only artificial magnets only. Okay. Now, the dimensions of this electromagnet is mainly responsible to create the strength of the magnetic field. Hence, energy stored in this electromagnet. Let's discuss about the what is the expression for the energy stored in a magnetic field. Already I said that inductors are useful to store the energy in the form of magnetic field. That's why here we have to discuss the inductors. Okay. Now let us see a circuit. This is an inductor. This is symbol indicates the inductor consisting of n number of turns. This is a battery. Now we are in a position of a switch off. So whenever we supply some voltage V, the conductor value, that means, the inductor value L is expressed as a Henry, and the current I will flow at a steady state. That means by applying some voltage, that means by switch on the circuit, when you observe this figure, by switch on the circuit, then automatically a current I, a steady current I is passed through this conductor, this inductor. Okay. So when switch is on, the current will flow from 0 to its steady value. But due to self-induction, that means whenever the coil is near to the current carrying conductor, then a self-induced EMF is developed. So that induced voltage is represented as E is equal to minus L di by dt. Okay. Now, as the energy or work done due to this current passing through this inductor is indicated by the letter U, let us assume that as the current starts from 0 to 0 value to and flowing against the induced EMF E, now the energy will grow up gradually from 0 value to U. That means whenever we apply some voltage here, the current I is passed through this inductor. Immediately an induced EMF is developed in this inductor. This induced EMF is moves opposite to the current direction. That means here the inductor do some work. So that work done is expressed as in terms of power and current. W is equal to E into I. Here E is induced EMF and I is current. So simply that the dimensions of power and work are similar. Now the smallest energy dW is expressed in terms of work and time. So the energy or work done du is expressed as a work done into time. Here, this is a smallest work or smallest energy in a smallest interval of time. That's why here we write du is equal to W into dt. Here W is the power, U is the smallest work done. So work done is equal to power into time. So power is expressed as voltage into current. Here voltage is expressed as induced EMF. So actually power is equal to expressed as voltage into current. Here E is an induced EMF. Induced EMF is nothing but voltage. Why here we using negative sign? When you observe the circuit, this induced EMF moves against the current direction. So in the opposite direction. So that's why W is equal to, that means the power is equal to minus EI. So du is the smallest work done. W is the smallest power with a time dt. But power is expressed in terms of voltage and current. Here voltage is also named as induced EMF. Now substitute this value here. Then the smallest energy stored. Energy stored is nothing but work done. So work done is equal to W into dt. But W is the power. Power is expressed as a minus E into I. E means induced EMF or voltage also. Now the induced EMF is expressed L into di by dt. That is already we discussed in the starting point. Induced EMF in a conductor, in an inductor, is expressed as a E is equal to L di by dt. Now by simple cancellation here, dt and dt, then we got L I di. But here we calculate only the smallest work done or smallest energy stored in a conductor. But what about the entire energy? That means here initially, that means when the circuit is switched off, the current value is 0. Whenever we switch on, the current value is gradually changes and reach to a value I. That means the current is variable from 0 to I. Now, by integrating on both sides, that is du from 0 to u, that is the work done, and from variable current from 0 to I. Now simply here L is constant, that is inductor, I di, integral I means I square by 2. By substituting limit values 0 to I, then also we get the energy stored in a inductor. That means energy stored in the form of a magnetic field in a inductor is expressed as half L I square. Half L I square. So this is the expression for the energy stored in a inductor in the form of magnetic field. But still, by substituting a expression for inductance, self-inductance L value, as we already derived the formula for self-inductance of a solenoid by taking an example of solenoid, that expression for the self-inductance L is equal to mu naught N square A by L. Here N is the number of turns of the coil and A is the area of the coil, and L is the effective length of the coil. Now, current I is also expressed as H into L by N. Now, here H is the magnetizing force, N is the number of turns of the coil, and L is the effective length of the coil. Now substitute the value of L, substitute the value of L and I in the expression, that is energy density U is equal to half Li square. Now substitute these L and I value in this expression. Then U is equal to, here by also changing the H value as a H is equal to B by mu naught. As the relation we have to know B is equal to mu H. From that relation H we can write as B by mu naught. Now putting the expressions L and I in equations, in equation U, 1 by 2 L I square. So this is the expression for L and this is the expression for I, that is substitute here. Now this is the, by cancellation, simply here by squaring, here there is a square. Okay, so n square cancel, and next here L square, 1 L is cancelled. So simply mu naught, 1 mu naught is cancelled. Then finally B square, A, there is one L value. In the denominator there is a 2 and 1 mu naught also. So finally the expression U is equal to B square AL by 2 mu naught. So this is the energy stored in a electromagnetic field, that is a conductor can be calculated from its dimensions and flux density. The same expression we have to derive in case of electrostatic field also. Now the next concept is energy density of a magnetic field. Generally, density definition is mass by volume. And what about energy density? Energy by volume. Here already we calculate the expression for the energy stored in a capacitor. So this is the energy. So energy by volume is called energy density. Okay. Now how we calculate the energy density of a magnetic field? For this, we have to take a solenoid. Already, this is a solenoid. You have to know that it consisting of n turns and having a length L. A current I is passed through it. Now, it has an area A. Now, small n is the number of turns per unit length. That means it is the one turn. Small n means it is called number of turns per unit length. That means total number of turns are n and total length is L. Then what is the one turn per length? That is a small n. Okay. Now, self-inductance of a coil, that is we discussed in the previous lecture. L is equal to mu naught n square Ia, and magnetic induction inside, that is expressed as, that means in case of solenoid, the magnetic induction inside the solenoid is derived from Ampere's law, that is expressed as B is equal to mu naught Ni. Now we have to calculate the energy density. What is energy density? Energy per unit volume. So the energy per unit volume, energy is half Li square, that is U by V. We have to calculate the energy density. So energy per unit volume. Energy is U, volume is V. Already in the previous slides, we discussed about the energy stored in a inductor, that is half Li square. Volume we can express it as area into length. Now, so simply here 1 by 2 L by I square by A. So here by substituting the value of L, that means L value is mu naught n square I A substitute here into I square by A. So by cancellation here, A into A, okay. So simply there is 1 by 2 mu naught Ni whole square, mu naught Ni whole square, okay. So as expression of B is equal to mu naught Ni. That is the magnetic flux density inside the solenoid. So simply divide with mu naught. Okay. Then squaring on both sides. First of all, squaring on both sides. Okay. B is equal to mu naught Ni. Now B square means whole square. Okay. But here additional there is an mu naught. For balancing this, simply divided with a mu naught. Then this expression we can written as mu B half B square by mu naught. Again, you have to substitute here B square value, mu naught square, Ni square, I square. By denominator, there is a mu naught. By cancellation here, mu naught. Finally, you have to get the value of half mu naught Ni square, the same value. So simply to convert this energy density value in terms of magnetic flux density, or it may be, you can written as half B by mu naught into B. So this is the expression for H. So you can written as half HB also. Whatever it may be. You can express any form. These expressions are useful to solve the problems. Okay. So these are the topics here we today discuss that. Once again, I will show that. So mutual inductance between a straight long wire and a square loop. The expression for this is M is equal to mu naught A by 2 pi log of A plus X by X. And next concept is energy stored in a magnetic field. That value is U is equal to half Li square. And by substituting the value of L and I, this energy stored we can express it as V square AL by 2 mu naught. And the next concept is energy density. Energy density means energy per unit volume. So simply by dividing the energy U by volume, that is half Li square by volume. Volume we can written as area into length. On cancellation, by substituting the value of inductance of the solenoid and magnetic field intensity inside a solenoid. And finally, we get the energy density expression. Mu B is equal to half B square by mu naught, or it can be also expressed as a half HB also. So next class we discuss about the solved problems on this fourth unit. Thank you.